A jolt in the arm that can take this sector to the moon. Yes, Drake is the Elon Musk of rap. This week on Hip Hop Stocks, music is overall down due to a lackluster 420, a holiday that was once ground zero for new music but has become a shell of itself. I can remember years where there would be like 10 official projects released on this day, and this year we only really got a Snoop Dogg release, From the Streets to the Suites, and it wasn't terrible, but this is a stock that's long past its prime. There's nothing that he can really do that he hasn't done over the length of his career, and the desire to make another paid the cost to be the boss just isn't there. Hopefully the merger with Mount Westmore will re-energize this stock, but I'm not counting on it. DJ Paul introduced his new artist, Coco, and I'm not impressed. I have a small position in the 3-6 Mafia stock right now. Reason being is because the way that mainstream industry has turned, it favors 3-6 Mafia. This is why you hear the Who Run It instrumental more and more. This is why 3-6 Mafia has been suing artists left and right. There's a potential for a major comeback, but moves like these are the reason why I only have a small stake. The music hasn't evolved and Coco just isn't the most skilled individual. See, discovering and developing talent has long since been the Achilles heel of this stock. Conway the Machine dropped the project La Maquina, or The Machine. Yes, I know my Spanish is horrible. It was what I thought it would be until the song Grace. And that's why you listen to the full projects. Every so often someone will surprise you. Not enough to save this week or the album, but it's something for you to add to your portfolio. See, 420 is usually a major catalyst for stocks. This could be a sign of a down year in music, but I feel as though the market will bounce back. So far this year, my portfolio has grown about 40 tracks. This is actually growing at a higher pace than previous years. It just feels like music has been slow. But let's go ahead and take a look at some of these trending stocks. Apple is up for raising the pay-per-play plan to a penny a listen. Doesn't sound like a lot, but 100,000 views will get you $1,000 under this plan. Spotify does 0.0038 per listen, basically a third of a penny per listen, so you need 300,000 plays to get that same $1,000. This is a significant and reasonable pay raise. See, the Union of Musicians and Allied Workers stated that they have known that a penny per listen was doable. Let's face the reality that the music streaming sector has been getting over on musicians for an extended period. I know when I listen to Spotify, it's like every 30 minutes that I hear ads from movies, alcoholic beverages, political ads, and more. They get paid well to do this. Yes, there is overhead to account for because these apps must pay for the rights to stream major label artists based on the deals that they had to have in place individually. But if those deals are so bad that you can't afford to pay an artist 1 cent per listen, then you don't deserve to be in business. If streaming is going to be the platform for the future, then there has to be an ecosystem. Much like how there's a delicate balance in the ocean between predator and prey, this keeps species alive for millions of years. This must happen for music to self-sustain. Musicians must be paid for their art for there to be more art. Yes, the businesses that helped it to get it to the people should get a cut, but there's a point where it goes from good business to rape deals. Now that we are very close to the break-even point on music streaming, basically where these apps like Spotify, Apple, SoundCloud will begin making money, the time has come to look out for the artists. Spotify has been in business for a while and are only projected to stop their losses in 2022. So yes, it's been a painful transition from physical to digital media, but the time to cash in is right around the corner and artists can't be left out of this, just like how things were done before. This is a good step for Apple and this sector as a whole, but hopefully we will see better in the future. Black Star is up as the duo is joining forces with who I deem as the greatest comedian of all time, Dave Chappelle, for a podcast named The Midnight Miracle. A duo that hasn't done anything since, say, 2011? But this is where it pays to invest in your friends. See, these artists are good friends with Dave, and they were featured in The Chappelle Show, The Block Party, and now this podcast. It's like when LeBron goes from team to team, he will always keep a spot open for J.R. Smith. It's a great place to be when the people that you have inspired end up being pioneers in their own rights and they show respect to you. With podcasts being the next media for artists to showcase their personalities, this opens up potential for a revival of these individuals. Having the biggest comedian in the world in your corner giving you this level of exposure, you have no choice but to raise up your stock price. My thing, whatever growth comes from this, it can't be primarily music. I know they are legends and all, but they are past their prime and there's nothing that can be done about that. Mos Def or Yasin Bey and Talib Kweli have a unique opportunity here that very few actually get. A second chance at something that could be extremely notable. Use this wisely. Build actual businesses selling products, then trying to relive the peaks of your music careers. There's a reason why we haven't heard much from Joe Budden to 50 Cent. These individuals found their strides in their new crafts and are building financial legacies that their music couldn't. There's no reason for Black Star to not be able to do the same thing. I will say buy this stock, but put your stop loss on it, because if they begin pushing new singles within the first 5 episodes, then this is going back down. Drake is up as he shows yet again that he's ahead of the game. And I know people hate him. Many only see the arrogant facade, but I see the tactical businessman underneath. Where many see ghostwriters, I see a man that freed up his time so he can focus on more. Where most see a culture vulture, I see the culture vulture the game deserves, not the one that it needs. So what has he done this time? He's putting up $100,000 for the upcoming Ultimate Rap League. Doesn't that sound like that's from the bottom of Drake's heart for being a fan of battle rap and he's to the forefront of the culture? It does. Until the moment that you realize it's Drake. Nothing comes from the bottom of his heart. He is always calculating the next move. Upon further research, I realized that this is more than the next battle rap tournament. No disrespect intended, because they do good work. This is the debut on the Caffeine app, started by a former Apple executive. Doesn't Drake still have an Apple radio show? I wonder how he got the connection to make this happen. So where people will say $100,000 isn't a lot of money, some of these battles they put up that kind of money. Realize that Drake isn't paying $100,000. That was included in the deal to host this event on the app. Others will say Drake never even showed that he even cares about battle rap. I will say, why do you care? His greed just opened up corporate sponsorship on the cutting edge of technology for your art to thrive. A jolt in the arm that can take this sector to the moon. Yes, Drake is the Elon Musk of rap. With his mere name being a feature on an album can make those album sales jump higher than Dogecoin, when he is trending higher than the NBA team who just won the finals. When he may have single-handedly legitimized the battle rap community, that in the future there's a possibility for boxing, MMA like money. You are denying this man his due because what? He's corny? Okay, he just pulled off something that people have been dreaming of for decades. But corny does count more, I guess. Wiz Khalifa is up for signing a 10-year deal to keep Khalifa Kush distribution. The people are up on this play because of how many rap brands have even lasted that long. Jay-Z sold off Tidal in 3 years? A solid investment in the longevity of this brand, but my thing is, you just Mike Tomlin this deal. Why would you sign 10 years with a distribution that only deals in Nevada, Utah, and Arizona? You got one of the hottest brands out. What about LA, DC? Isn't it legal to a degree in Atlanta right now? See, instead of going big to replace an aging Big Ben, you stick it out, all but dooming the Steelers to a long rebuilding period. Am I saying that this is a bad play? No, you just left a lot of meat on the bone, which leaves it for Purple Uncle to take. Please believe me when I tell you the stock market is you competing against others. And when you get the advantage, you have to push it as far as you can. With that commercial at that time, with the world watching it, it drops your market share of raw popularity. There is a good chance that it will be in all of the popular cities and your brand will be stuck while the takeover is happening. Keep in mind, legislation is happening, so Wiz is in fact losing the battle before it even started. Am I saying that you can't take Big Ben to the Super Bowl? Not as long as there's a Patrick Mahomes and a Tom Brady. The ending of the last deal was your opening for a championship to have the undeniable #1 brand on the open market, given how the team is constructed. Instead, out of loyalty, you will be barely making an even record year in and year out. And there's nothing wrong with that. You know, being consistently good but never good enough. There's a lot of wins to be had, but never the big one. I mean, you can always talk trash to a Browns fan, but can only claim cheating to the Patriots. Congratulations, I guess. But how are we playing this stock? Say it with me now. We are keeping our stock in Wiz Khalifa until he stops being a pioneer, stops getting billions of YouTube streams, stops selling songs to professional teams, stops being an absolute genius. So therefore, we're gonna ride this wave because he will be back with something else.